to you live from the caverns deep beneath Wayne Manor and totally not from my mom's basement. Welcome to today's episode of the BatChat. What is going on, everybody? Sorry we're running a little bit late today. I don't know what the deal is. I was running a few errands. Today I was taking my nephew to meet Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, and it was cutting into his nap time, and at that age, you just can't have that, so we ended up having to cut that short. So I didn't end up meeting Lou, which kind of sucked, but it was cool being in the same room with them. Cool seeing, seeing how jacked he is, even up into his late 70s, and he seemed like a really cool dude, and always fun to hang out with. Dalton. So I do have a special guest this week that I'm really excited about. Not as excited as I probably should be, but I am fairly excited about it. But he's not here yet. I'm just kind of stalling for him. So I figured I'd play a little bit for you. I guess we'll see. Hopefully you guys like this. Some of y'all know this. I play guitar a little bit. I've been a professional musician for about 15 years, but some of y'all may not have known that. I just said I'd just do a little song for you and just see how you like it. Yeah. Oh.
You're live?
Yeah, I'm live.
I'm going to go put clothes on.
Okay, gonna put some clothes on. Just drop the towel. It's all right.
I'll be right back.
Anyway, so yeah, we got Aaron here this weekend. Hopefully y'all like that. Just throw the guitar around. And he's just getting dressed in the background.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, they're going to get me taken off the air. But anyway, yeah, so we got Mr. Aaron Brooks in here today. What's going on, Aaron?
You see it.
Yeah.
Hang out with you. Yeah, hell yeah. This is cool. Usually I'm on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the microphone up, turn the sensitivity up, so
This is cool.
hopefully it'll pick both of us up. But yeah, what's up, man?
Not much. Not the first time being in a dark room with you, though.
It's not.
Down here, yeah. Oh, I got to come this way because that cuts me off.
Yeah, it does cut you off there. But yeah, we got Aaron here today. We're doing a lot of work on some different stuff. Working a little bit on his really good DOJ suit he got from Unmasked Studios. We just wanted to put some Velcro around it to make sure that the cape and cowl and everything lines up the way we want it to. And so it just took a little bit of doing, but we got it all figured out. Did Aaron miss the bus? He missed the short bus, that's for sure.
No, I caught the short bus.
Oh, okay.
I caught the short bus here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gotta work on that. So we got that mostly done. Had a little bit of issues with his alter ego gauntlets. The zipper was being a little tenacious, so we had to get that done.
Yeah, blame the boys at Alter Ego Studios for that. I'm just kidding.
No,
we love you. We love you.
The gauntlets are good. He just doesn't know how to work them,
No,
basically.
let me tell you guys something. You may think because I'm friends with Derek and these guys, and I've been on here a couple times, I may look like I know what I'm talking about. I'll be honest with you. This is the first legit bat suit I've ever had, and I wanted to wait for the right time. And Derek has been such an instrument in helping me out, and such a blessing in helping me out putting this stuff together. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're also working on your second. Really, I wouldn't even call it your second suit with me. It's still technically your first. So full transparency here, and I think, and I'm totally fine admitting this, because one of the things that, and I don't want to sound disrespectful of other suit makers or anything, because I've got a really good relationship with Will Unmasked Studios, and actually this is something that through working with Will in the past, I've kind of learned that one of the things I really admire about him is his transparency, and I want to be transparent as well. So you guys have seen the custom suit that I made for Aaron, and it was a really good suit, but there was a little bit of communication error on getting the measurements and everything, and some of that was on him, some of it was on me, and look, that happens when you're given dimensions and measurements over the interwebs. There's always you're always going to run the risk of something not being quite right. Where I kind of screwed up was I didn't, as a suit maker, one of the things you need to learn how to do is let there be some margin in there, because like several of the things we did on the suit that looked really cool took away some of the stretch, which got rid of all the margin. So if it wasn't perfect fitting. Which ended up not being. It was fine in some areas, but others weren't quite right. But now it wasn't going to stretch because, like, we use stretching spandex, or at least spandex-based fabrics for our suits, so it should be able to be nice and snug, but also have a little bit of stretch either way. But because of how I constructed that suit, it didn't fit him the way that he was happy with, that I was happy with. So we were originally, and I do just want to say, again, just full transparency, most of the time I would not necessarily be like, well, we're just going to build it completely from scratch, because that's why it is imperative that you send the correct measurements. I also recognize that there were several things that I did on the suit that contributed to it not fitting the way it needed to. And things that I don't offer anymore. So, by the way, if you guys have a commission with me, you don't have to worry about this. Basically, the biggest thing, your suit's in here. We might pull it out later and show you. But I used piping on it. Most of the time, this is just inside baseball here. Piping is a really cool effect you can add on suits and stuff like that. It's not quite like what you would see on like a DOJ suit, where it's got like all the lines and the panel lines and everything going on there. So that would be an example of top stitching. In fact, actually, let me just show people this instead of just talking about it. While I'm doing that, I'm also going to turn the fans up. It's a little hot in here.
Yeah.
It's getting hot.
So I guess why Derek's doing that, I'm going to come up here and get real close to the camera and get my glamour shot in. And sound like this, like a 1-900 number. No, honestly, guys, though, it was like he said, on both of our parks, but I had the ability to come down here for the weekend and kind of work on it, fixing some stuff and whatnot. Anyway, like he said, like adding Velcro, just adding some stuff to that suit. So, if you got commission with him, like he said, you don't got to worry about it. I will give him credit. The guy knows how to sew.
Yeah. So let me show you what I was talking about earlier. I'm actually going to have to get you scoot just a little bit. So this is the really nice. Oh. Amanda Haynes is calling. I don't know if that's. We'll see. That's Dalton's mom. So okay, this is Unmasked Studios. This is his DOJ suit, and I wonder if I can get the camera to pick this up. You see, like those seam lines there. So how those lines are achieved is you sew the panels together, and then sew the seam allowance on the underside. And that's how you get that look. What I did on his suit, on his first suit, which I forgot how pretty this suit is, is I used this piping. So this is actually a separate piece, these lines here. The problem with piping is once you sew it in place, you lose all the stretch of your fabric. It looks really cool.
I think that we also, as you guys saw, kind of like a complex design to that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I trusted Derek do it. He was, and he did it great, but both of us didn't take into account when it's on and you're moving around and you put the muscles glued in and you have everything going, that kind of not the piping. Yeah, the piping.
Yeah, the piping.
Would kind of pull and stretch and maybe come apart a little bit. So that was also on me, because I wanted something kind of complex that when we came up with it, that I didn't take into account when I was commissioning the suit. So, but I mean, it's an amazing detail. So I mean, make a good display, if anything.
Yeah, it'd make a great display suit. And like I said, it was just it was an experimental process. Aaron was actually my very first commission. I was actually working on that before we even announced that we were going to be making suits. So that suit was actually done and dusted. Actually, I think you even had it before I even made the announcement, if I remember correctly. So, your guess this week is a rocket. So, take off your shirt. No. We will later.
My bad.
So,
I do want to say, though, real quick, Arkham Knight Cosplay, thank you for the congratulations. I do know what you're talking about, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I finally, after years of trying, I was able to, and it sealed the deal a couple days ago, I finally adopted my stepson. So, from everything going on in the past. And so, yeah, I appreciate the congratulations. It means the world to me, and, it means the world to him. So, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm not laughing at your news.
No, I see. Like
this is okay.
That happens to me.
Yeah, this is what I deal with every single week with you guys, because YouTube hides that stuff. Like, I know you guys can't see. I'm gonna go ahead and show the comments. Chunk Mac is trying to get us to unveil ourselves. And
I tried.
normally, I'm dealing with you guys in a group chat, sending
Yeah.
me things that I don't want to see.
I should open the group chat and just let it sit here now. I've never been on this end of things. It's really cool.
Your new love you too.
I'm just gonna leave that open.
Love to you and your new family, Batastic.
I appreciate it. Is that a word, BatChat? I'm gonna steal that. Arcanine
Batastic.
cosplay. Who is that, by the way? You got a first name?
That's Christian Lund, I
Christian.
believe.
Okay, yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you. I
Christian,
appreciate
that is you, right? I don't want to get people mixed
If
up.
not, whoever you are, I greatly appreciate the congratulations.
That's the thing about YouTube, by the way, is like on Instagram, sometimes it shows the profile name, but most of the time it actually shows me who it is. I don't know.
I can go Instagram Live.
No, we don't have to go Instagram Live. I think the thing that's disappointing is, it's not constantly just bombarding me with what everyone's pronouns are, because that's relevant while I'm doing a live stream. Anyway.
My pronoun is vengeance.
I'm pretty sure that's a verb.
Whatever.
But yeah, so I just wanted to be totally transparent with. Yeah, I just want to be transparent with what we were working on, because I know I've had a few people message me about Aaron's suit, and when he got it, we were both pretty bummed out because again, I'll take the brunt of the responsibility there, because even if because there were a few measurements that we confirmed later weren't quite right, but even then, I should have known that I needed to apply a little bit more margin there, and that stuff just happens. And
that's what I was gonna say. I would say this kind of stuff happens whether it's a suit maker or whatever. Like sometimes the maker of, like, if they're painting you a navy cal, they can get the color off by a little bit, even if they have the fabric with them. Like it's it happens, guys. Like,
yeah,
this stuff happens.
And I'm not going to pretend that I will always be willing to completely rework a suit. But if there are some issues, like the reality is, it's my name on these suits. Like literally, there's a label on it. It's got my name on it.
On the back, yeah.
If the suit doesn't fit or something like that, even if it is technically your fault, or whatever, I'd be willing to try to help in any way I can. And so there's limitations there. It's a situation by situation basis. I'm definitely not going to put like some kind of guarantee, like, hey, if your suit doesn't fit, there's not a satisfaction guarantee. At least as far as like everything has to be perfect on. I'm going to get it as best as I possibly can, but sometimes things happen, especially when you're given measurements. Like that is why it's absolutely imperative that if you are ordering a suit from somebody, that you give them accurate measurements. For instance, and I've done this before too. Like I remember when I first started cosplay, I was also at the beginning of my weight loss journey, and I just assumed, well, at the rate that I'm going, I'm losing weight as I'm ordering parts of the suit. So maybe I should order the suit maybe a size smaller than I am now, so that by the time the suit's actually ready, it actually fits me. And that's just, always give your current measurements. The worst thing you could possibly do, that's just the absolute stupidest thing you could possibly do, is, let's say for example you were to order an Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit from RPC Studio, and you add 5 inches on every single measurement because you just started working out and you think you're going to gain 5 inches of muscle in a week,
and then you just get lazy and don't do it.
And you just get lazy.
Hypothetically speaking,
no one would actually do that, because
No.
you would have to be really stupid.
Yeah,
but
like 100%.
Derek, smile or else. Derek has to, okay. I'm slaving away in the Bat Cave. You guys run around half naked playing guitars. That's how it works. Yeah, you guys. Now that I'm not, because I'm. No sound. Lost sound. Oh my God, we lost sound. Everyone freak out. Can, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. We'll just sit here and just let her ride until.
I don't think there's.
Y'all have no sound, just so you know.
I think we just fixed it though. Can y'all hear me now? If the sound doesn't come back, you're taking your shirt off. It should be back now. Can everyone hear me?
You're good.
I did have my shirt off, Kyle, at the beginning of this. So I mean, that's what I saw. Sorry for the people that are listening on Spotify, Apple iTunes Music, whatever. Like I'm not a podcaster.
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that up. I'm not doing that anymore. Here's why. For one thing, I know of one person that actually listens to the podcast, and it's Michael Enoch, and I do appreciate you, Mike. But
where's he at?
Yeah, where's he
You're
at?
not here. You're supposed to be here too, dude.
He's in the comments. Mike is the only one I know of that actually listens to the podcast while he's working. And not that it's
I
not
do too when I'm driving.
not that it's not worth doing with Mike doing it, but like you can also just listen to it on YouTube. So yeah, the issue is for one thing, Buzzsprout is it's weird. Like I don't monetize this. Probably for a good reason because I'd lose monetization every episode because of you guys. Yeah. So I don't monetize these, and I don't monetize the podcast. And originally, it was free what I was doing through Buzzsprout, where I was distributing it to all these other podcasting formats. Well, now I've got to pay for it, and I'll be honest with you, if I was reaching a bunch of people, it was one of those things where, like, on average, let me see how many people we've got actually watching live.
Like maybe 187 people.
We've got 4 people watching live, okay? And on average, I'm actually just going to go to YouTube and see on BatChat. I'm on my other page. I'm going to look and see the average views. So the last one I had with Karen Whitfield was 68 views, 48 views, 115, 127. So like the most views I've ever gotten on BatChat was like 127 views. Okay, my podcast is like I might get 3 downloads, I might get 4 downloads. It's just not worth paying to upload that on podcast. So here is what I'm going to ask you guys. If you guys really like a podcast, here's what I need you to do. I can either open a Patreon or in the link below, I've got a Ko-Fi, and which it just goes straight to my PayPal. If you guys want a podcast, throw a couple bucks my way. I'd be more than happy to do it. But it's an extra step in the process.
Link your OnlyFans too.
I will. I'll link that. Now YouTube's going to take it off because we're not supposed to talk about OnlyFans. Damn it.
Oh, that'll be fine.
That'll be fine. I'm making muscles so Derek can make the suits. Yeah. I appreciate you doing that too. So yeah. Where is it going with that? Yeah. If you guys really want a podcast, I've got a Ko-Fi, down in the description below. You can donate to that if you want, or I can even set up like Patreon or an OnlyFans or something like that. And I can, use those funds to do that. But I
donate to that.
It's just not worth it to me, honestly. It's an extra step in the process. I've had issues with them in the past not sending it out to, like, sometimes it'll go to Apple, but it won't go to Spotify, and it's just not worth it, to be honest with you. And they have different rules and stuff like that. Like, you can talk about certain things on YouTube, but I've had issues where, like, certain topics would come up. Chunk, I'm looking at you. Certain topics would come up on podcasts, and it would be under review to make sure we're not spreading misinformation. So you guys can assume whatever you want. You're probably correct. So I just don't want to deal with all that. It's just not worth it to me. So I am doing away with the podcast. It will be exclusively on YouTube. Now if Instagram would get their head out of their ass and let me stream to Instagram, I would rather do that, honestly. The reason I don't do BatChat live on Instagram anymore is because I want to do a higher quality version of it, at least with higher quality audio, with the graphics and everything. Can't do that on Instagram, unfortunately. I guess I could upload these on Instagram, but Instagram, I like the live aspect of it, and I definitely get more engagement on Instagram. So if they ever get it to where I can, we got reviewed. Yeah, we did, which is fine. I mean, we didn't get in trouble in that post. I think that episode is up, I believe. But yeah, it's just not worth it. And it wasn't I think it was Apple that held it for review. I can't remember if it was Apple or Spotify, but yeah, anytime you talk about the C word, not the one you're thinking of, but yeah, anytime you talk about the C word, you gotta really, really be careful.
Comedy.
Comedy, yes, that's the You don't want to catch comedy 19.
Now it's
Twitter needs streaming. Dude, I would absolutely love to stream on Twitter.
Does stream, I think. Now.
Yeah, but
if they don't, Elon Musk bought it, so.
Yeah, Elon putting Coke back in Coke. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, dude, it's one of those things where this is a fun thing. I like being a part of this. It's a lot of fun to do, and but it was just getting to where it's not worth paying for. it's not worth paying for me, especially when no one listens to it. Now, look, another option too. Even though I don't really benefit from this monetarily speaking. If you want the podcast, listen to the podcast. Go back and listen to these episodes again, because I can see how many people are downloading it, and I can see like where they're downloading it from. And like the reason I use Buzzsprout is because it will distribute to Apple Podcast and Spotify. But if I get where like say 100 people are listening to the Spotify one, I'll just upload straight to Spotify, and I could probably even do that for free, or find a service that just does it for free and just go from there. But I don't know. Do you think Elon will buy McDonald's and fix the ice cream machines?
That's the least of McDonald's worries. They need the snack wrap back.
Dude, you ain't kidding.
That's what McDonald's needs to do right now. So McDonald's, if you're listening to this, and I know you probably do,
everyone
snack
listens.
wrap, ranch snack wrap, honey mustard snack wrap, the buffalo snack wrap.
I was about to say the buffalo chicken one was good.
Yeah, so like all three of those, bring them back. Come on with it. I think we should get a petition for like snack wraps to come back. I'm sure there's like a lot of them out there, but
I'm sure there are.
So this is turning into snack wrap chat.
Yeah, snack wrap chat. Yeah, that's the other thing too. People don't like when we get off topic, which I'm like, what topic are you talking about? We never have a topic. Like it's BatChat, and we do talk about Batman a lot, but
I feel like for those of you that don't understand, BatChat's just the name because primarily Batman stuff, because that's who he primarily cosplays, and most of us do in this channel, or on the show, I should say, and in the comics. But get over it, like. His show, he can talk whatever he wants. What you guys want to talk about?
Well, I say I can talk about whatever I want. I can talk about whatever YouTube approves. These are really nice comments, by the way.
Thank you.
Did
you put it on?
I did, huh? I
just
wanted to try them on. These are pretty cool.
Cool.
We might paint those.
Show them.
So these are the Unmasked Studios leather gauntlets. They're pretty nice. I kind of dig them.
Paint those.
Paint those. Yeah, we might paint those while we're here.
Now I'm sold.
Yeah.
I saw that Derek here has a navy blue Justice League Batfleck cowl.
And that's the navy blue
and
fabric.
a navy blue fabric cowl from Alter Ego Studios, and I fell in love with the dark color of it, like the dark blue of it. And I told myself I would never do a blue Batman cosplay. I was just stuck on the black and gray version. I always have been since the comics, but now I got to put together a navy bat. So we're probably gonna paint these.
Well, it's like the old saying goes, once you go black, you go running very quickly back to blue. I think is how it goes. I can't remember. It's close.
Yeah, it's close.
Pretty much that.
And speaking of Batman and being in blue, R.I.P. to Neil Adams.
I was just about to say that. That was a good segue. Yeah. Neil Adams, for those of you that don't know who Neil Adams is, how are you even a Batman fan? Neil Adams and I was about to say Dan DiDio, but not Dan DiDio. Because he passed away recently too.
Yeah. You're thinking of not. Now you got me like I see his face. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But Neil Adams.
And
the other guy.
I'm gonna look it up. I feel terrible now.
I do too. Yeah. Because
now I'm thinking Dan DiDio.
It's maybe the comics have it because. No, not yet.
Y'all keep talking while I'm figuring this out.
He's trying to figure out who the other guy was because now I'm drawing a blank now because he's drawing a blank. But funny how that happens. But yeah, because I saw it in person, because I'm not a huge fan of the bright blue Batman suits, which I know that is for some people, and that's cool. But it's not for me. But I saw his navy blue pieces to his suit, and I was like, I gotta do that darker navy blue and assemble a navy.
Denny O'Neil.
Yes.
Dennis O'Neil.
Dennis O'Neil.
or some people call him Denny.
Actually, I knew it would start with a D.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking Dan DiDio. Yeah, not Dan DiDio. We don't like him. I mean, we just don't. At least I don't. But yeah, Neil Adams and Dennis O'Neil back in the 70s completely revitalized Batman. You know, it's funny. We had the lovely Miss Karen Whitfield here last week, and we talked about the Bronze Age of Batman post the 60s TV show. Because a lot of people feel like, and they're not entirely incorrect, that the 60s TV show was reflective of the comics of that era, and that's actually not the case. Batman was this close to being canceled as a comic book series. It just wasn't selling very well. And then when Adam West and Burt Ward, were doing the 60s TV show, it was very successful. And actually changed the comics to fit more that theme, because like Batman was very goofy in like the 50s, but then they kind of got away from that, and it just got really weird, and no one really bought it. Then the 60s came about, and then because of the success of the show, they made it very campy and silly. Well, then as the show was canceled and kind of went out of style, they kind of wanted to get Batman back to his darker roots. So Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams did their initial run on Batman, and it's legendary. They got great comics. They're the ones that Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul or Raz, if you're an idiot.
However you want to pronounce it, I guess.
All those great stories from the 70s, and even some into the 80s were done by that. And most of the time, when you're thinking about like classic Batman, the image in your head is the Neil Adams version of Batman, even though it's something Lopez. He's got a long name. Most of the time, the art you see from Batman, I'm sorry about this is a live show. I should learn all these names, but
we don't filter anything here. We don't edit.
We don't filter anything. But the classic Batman, when you think classic Batman, it's the gray suit, the oval emblem. He doesn't have pouches. He's just got the cylinders on his belt, light blue cape and cowl. That is the Neil Adams design, and it was very much. That was the classic look for Batman, and I'm very excited, by the way, because I'm actually working on a suit like that for a client. I need to show you that fabric too. It's beautiful fabric for the cape and cowl, and he's getting a modern classic Hernandez cowl. Not navy. It's gonna be a really light blue.
That's gonna be cool. Yeah,
it's gonna be really cool.
Shout out to that person.
I'm really excited. He is. Well, I need to update my little list there. He is, I think, next after this one I'm working on currently. I need to kind of go through my roster and make sure I've got that reflected on the board.
I need a modern classic cowl now from Hernandez. Those things are nice.
Yeah, I think he makes it 23.
Yeah, that's the only ones he makes 23.
Yeah,
and 24.
And that's what this guy.
Yeah.
That's what this guy's getting is a 23.
Yeah,
so
I probably wouldn't get a blue though. I don't know. I'll probably look okay with that other suit.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
But I'm using the tactical cowl with that for those wondering.
That was another thing too. Is like whenever you came down, we were going to kind of work on your suit. I had one that I was working on kind of for me. Basically, I was like, okay, what went wrong on Aaron's suit? How can I fix it, and how can I grow and get better? Because, the reality is everyone makes mistakes, and, why do we fall so we can learn to pick ourselves back up, to quote Thomas Wayne. Master Bruce.
I just want to add that in there.
Still haven't given up on me yet. Never. That's what you should say. Never. It's too evil. Forever. Yorkshire's loudest gamer. Anyway,
Arkansas's loudest gamer here.
You're
Streamer.
You're such a bully.
Fucking exit there.
Anyway, so I was working on a suit for me that was a similar design to Aaron's suit, and I'm gonna put a pin in that. Remind me to come back to the design element in a second. But it was a similar design to Aaron's suit. It was kind of gonna be for me, but the more I got into it, the more I was like, man, I just like the basic gray bat suits. Like, you just can't beat a classic, in my opinion. That's just what I'm more into. But the suit did look really cool. Whenever he came in, I was kind of showing him what I was working on, and he ended up falling in love with the design. Yeah. And I was like, huh. And he tried it on. Actually fit you better than it fit me. We still have to tailor it some, which we'll work on that a little bit tonight. We're going to go out to dinner and have some fun, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to hang out. It's not just going to be all work this week. But anyway, so it ended up fitting him really well, and so we ended up just like, yeah, you can just have this suit, and we'll just kind of call it even. So we'll be gluing that up, and I'm getting a cool emblem. We're not going to talk much about.
No,
but
we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about this suit at all.
No.
Because the suit that I made for you was very popular. I honestly think this one's going to be even more popular.
I think so too. So anyway, you guys have to wait.
Yeah, you'll have to wait to see it. And I do want to say this, and I've said this before on live stream, and I totally get that not everyone who buys a suit from us actually watches the live stream. But I do want to clarify something. When I do a custom commission for someone, that's a one and done. I don't do like that suit that he made. I'm going to see what I can salvage from it. If you decide you don't want to take it back, it would make a great display suit, actually. Never mind. And I really don't want to take that thing apart.
So we'll display it.
But like the suit that we're working on for him, any of my custom suits, like the basic suits are just a basic suit. Anyone can have that. But the custom commissions that I design with the client, that's a one and done. That is your suit, because I don't want that, after you and I spend, hours on a Skype call or whatever, getting the design exactly the way you want it. I don't want you going to a con the next year and someone else wearing the exact same suit that all they had to do is send me a picture of a suit that I already made and say, hey, will you make this for me? Yeah, sure. Because now it's not special anymore, for
one. It
one.
kind of takes away the originality of it for the for you as well as the customer. So
exactly. And two, like when you're doing these custom suits, and any of the suit builders, I know Mr. Roberto is sometimes in the chat. I haven't seen any of his comments. I'm sure he can attest. Will Unmasked Studios can attest. Whenever you're making these custom suits, the patterning for it is ridiculous. Trying to like with the basic suits, I've got a pattern that I follow and everything. And for some of the other ones, like I'm working on some Batflex style suits and stuff like that. Like I will have a pattern that I'll follow for that. But like for these custom suits, you come up with a pattern, but it gets so modified towards the end, you're not going to be able to reuse that pattern. So, and it could be something I'm doing wrong. So if any of those guys are like, no, dude, it's super easy to reuse that pattern, slide into my DMs and help me figure that out. Because on the custom suits I did, they most time the pattern, because of all the adjustments and stuff I would make to it by the end of it, just wasn't really usable for another suit. So it's just, to me, when you pay for a custom suit, because our custom suits are more expensive than our basic suits, I want you to feel like you had a bespoke experience. You had this was a suit that you designed, or at least you approved the design, because I've had a few guys that would commission one that are not, I don't want to say they're not creative, because that's not the case, but like they're not artistic. They're not that I am.
Yes, you are.
Well, I don't.
This guy,
I don't consider myself to be that artistic.
Yeah, but I think you are.
I appreciate it, but that we'll go back and forth approving a design and everything. Once they're happy with the design we come up with, like I want that to be their suit. And so for that reason, even if you like this suit, sorry, I'm not going to make it just like that. I can make something very similar, but I don't intend to remake suits. And I'm going to keep clarifying that, because when I posted that picture of your suit, pretty much everyone, with the exception of a few people, there's a few guys that just wanted the basic suit because they really liked the way that turned out. But everyone who wanted a custom suit, like, I want that.
Yeah, I also got some messages from people asking me the price. If you guys want to know price, just message him, or message Derek here, because even if it's not what you're looking for, just he's not gonna be mad if you don't take if you don't buy a suit from him. That's what he's here for. Because
I will, and I do appreciate that. I'm fine disclosing this much. So for our basic suits, they're $850 shipped in the U.S. And then our custom suits usually start about $1,000. Just because, like, all my original patterns don't really work. I have to it's a custom design, but it is a custom design. Whatever you want. Sometimes it does go up from there, depending on what all you're wanting, but they start about $1,000 for the custom suits. And I get that for some people they think that might be a little high, but honestly, if you shop around, that's a pretty competitive price, compared to other makers. And look, I'll be completely honest with you and transparent with you, because we're still fairly new with this. Like, the reality is, like, I don't know if I should mention names, but I will. Like, Will Unmasked Studios has got a great reputation and absolutely deserves that great reputation in the Batman community. But his prices have had to go up over the years, and whether you agree or disagree with that, the reality is, like, dude has earned his stripes. He has, shown that he does great work and has developed a name and a reputation. Like that suit that he made for Aaron is fantastic. At some point the name does reflect in the price. Just like, why does John Ninko, why can he get away with charging this much for such and such? Because he's John Ninko. Because you associate that name with long waits, poor communication, but also excellent quality. I can say all I want about, how I feel about his customer service or communication, stuff like that, but I've never heard of anyone that's had issues with quality control. I know Chunk Mac has got a great Justice League suit from him. He waited a while for it, but it looks great, and it was worth the wait for him, and you know what? That's all that matters.
He looks great in it, too. Like,
he looks...
Yeah.
Dude, he looks amazing in it.
Oh, sorry, that was my... I didn't tuck my pants anymore, sorry.
We need
Just thinking of you in that suit.
Yeah.
It's just that it happens, bro.
we might have to cut this live stream short.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Adam, let's see. Pleased for you guys, and Aaron's suit is sick too. Yeah, the suit is great. I think you're really going to like his new one. I personally, as much as I loved that one, I think this new one, I think it's a lot better. And it's funny because I honestly did not design it, because it was my design. It wasn't one that he came up with. It was honestly just a situation where I kind of had some ideas for some different things. It was kind of based on his, because my whole thing was, okay, what am I going to do different on his suit now to fix it or to kind of redo certain aspects? And I was using it as a guinea pig suit, and it ended up turning out great. And I'll pat myself on the back for it. Appreciate that. Do it again. No. Thank you.
I got you.
It turned out really good. I'm really proud of how it turned out. So I think this one's going to be really good. I think this one actually looks a little bit better.
And it's like, I helped design the original suit, and I love it, but I saw this one, I was blown away. So, I mean, like, it's just... I think it's a lot, like, it's simple. And that's what made it
it's
kind of pop
simpler
out to me. It's simpler, but it's also complex at the same time. If that makes sense.
It's simpler, but still not. Like it's
it's bold. Like it's
really weird
to describe. You guys will see. You guys will see later.
Yeah.
At some point, but
it's really cool. What's funny is like the design of the new suit is more complex than the design of the other one, but the construction of that suit was much simpler, and that was on me because I didn't really know, like, the design of his, was like, okay, well, this is the only way I know how to make this work. And through doing it, because I had some issues, and I want to thank, the makers that I've talked to that kind of described the problems I was having, that gave me some great tips. I really do appreciate that. And I do love that makers can now talk to each other. Some of them. Some of them don't really want to, and,
that's fine.
that's fine. You can just hide in your Batman costuming form. Anyway, so you don't have to help out other makers, because I know it's
competition.
It's all competition, and you're in bed with 3 makers, and that's all you want.
There's not enough room for others, and you don't want to see progress pictures.
You don't want to see.
You don't want spam.
Unless it's with 2 of the makers that you're in bed with, but we're not gonna.
I mean, hey, if you're in bed with someone, I mean,
we're not gonna.
You gotta give them a few benefits. Right?
This is all theoretical too. Like,
this is theoretical.
There's absolutely no way there would be that would be. I cannot imagine the ironic nature of that.
I agree, because you have to be a pretty big man. We know that there's no circumstance for that. So
man, anyway, so his communication has gotten better. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. Honestly, I mean, if we were actually talking about that earlier, because someone reached out about it's terrible. Someone reached out about whoever could you mean? I have no idea.
It's just theoretical, guys.
It's all theoretical. But where was I even going with that? We were talking about Ninko. Someone reached out like, hey, what do you think about for like DOJ, this maker versus this maker? And I'm not gonna say who was the other option, but there's like Ninko and this other maker. And I'm like, well, basically, and I think Chunk was the one that actually said it, because I didn't have a chance to respond to it, but he absolutely hit the nail on the head. Like, for price, I would go with this maker, but if you want accuracy, I would go to this one. So yeah, that's it's just I would go to Ninko for accuracy, and I'm glad to hear this communication has gotten better, because that's always been my thing with Ninko. I think his stuff is great. I've had his gauntlets, I've had his boots, I've seen his suits in person, I've seen his capes in person, I've seen his cowls in person. Dude makes great stuff. His communication over the years has been pretty sketchy, so I'm glad to know he's...
And take that into consideration, too, but I'm glad to hear that, because I'm considering getting some boots, some DOJ boots.
I would, honestly. I mean, because I've had his muscle boots, and I love mine from Robson Bento.
So do I.
But he does not have the muscle definition in them. So if that's a look that's important to you, Ninko's the only one that's currently doing that. I think Napier's is doing it as well.
I think Napier's is too. I think it's...
I cannot attest to the quality of their boots. I know that their suits are good, but I do know that Ninko's boots are fantastic. So if you are thinking about it, you know, and that's the thing, like, you know, with other makers, like, you might not hear from them for months and you might get crap from them. But with Ninko, like, you might not hear from them for months, but you know whenever you get it, it's going to be good. Yeah. So you've got to weigh for yourself if it's worth it. For me, I've never bought anything from him brand new. I've dealt with his communication before because I'd have multiple questions about stuff, but once he starts working on your items, Ninko sends update pics. And that's another thing, too, that people don't think of. So I'll use myself as an example, and other makers are the same way. So let's say you commission a suit from me. I'll just use me as an example, even though I know other makers do this. I don't want to necessarily speak for them. So so when you commission a suit from me, let's say I give you a lead time of 4 to 6 weeks. That does not mean the next day I'm going to start on your suit and it takes me 4 to 6 weeks to make a suit. It doesn't. Most time the reason I am giving you 4 to 6 weeks is because, for one thing, most of the time I have to order a set of muscles from Mike, and I don't know what his workload is, so I want to give him plenty of time to make those muscles, and I don't know where he is in the roster, and I'll usually communicate with him too, just because, you know, I'm a nice guy. But I'll factor that in. I'll be like, hey, I need a set of muscles. Yeah, give me 2 weeks. Okay, great. And then I also need to sometimes order fabric or, you know, source an emblem or something like that. That takes time. And also, I may have someone ahead of you. Like, I might be currently working on a suit that I'm finishing up. So if you order a suit from someone, or like for me, and I say 4 to 6 weeks, there's a likelihood that I probably won't even start on your suit until week 3. That's not because I'm waiting till the last minute. That's because I've got other commissions ahead of you, and that's just how it works. Now, that is not always the case. I probably shouldn't even let you be that much inside baseball, because some people are going to be like, oh, well, I know it only takes a week to make a suit. That's not always the case. And in a completely ideal situation, yeah, I can whip one up super quick. But I don't want to rush these things, for one. But yeah, it takes time. So when you commission a suit from someone, you know, and I'll admit too that I didn't really realize this when I mentioned Roberto earlier. So I'm fine talking about this too. You know, I've been rather infamous for my opinions of Roberto over the years, and he and I have since buried the hatchet, very thankfully so. And I really, if he's watching, dude, I really want to thank him for not only being very gracious with me, and you know, and burying the hatchet, because he absolutely did not have to. He's actually been a big help to me through this process of helping me get into the suits. So he's a good guy. I got to give him that. But I did not know that fact whenever I ordered my suit from him. Now, granted, and he'll admit to this too, so I'm not like going back to griping about him. He did take longer than he initially quoted me. But it was not communicated to me. I think it was assumed that I knew. Like, I think the original timeline he gave me was like 8 to 12 weeks. We'll just say that. I can't remember what it was. 8 to 12 weeks. Well, I went 8 weeks without getting getting any kind of progress pictures, any kind of update or anything. And I did not realize that meant he probably didn't even start on it until the 8-week mark. That was not communicated to me. Now, granted, that is something that most makers kind of know, and most people, I was fairly new to this at that point, so I didn't know that. So I just assumed, oh, this guy just took my money and just ignored me for 2 months, and that wasn't really disclosed. Now, I will say, and again, he has admitted to this too, his communication with me wasn't that great, so it did kind of feel like, you know, he was just making excuses and everything, and all that would have had to be said, and again, he's admitted this too, is like, I probably should have just told you, like, hey, dude, if I tell you, 8 to 12 weeks, that doesn't mean I'm going to be working on it for 8 weeks. That probably means I'm not going to get to it till, 6 to 8 weeks from now. So don't be bugging people wanting progress pictures. So that's a long way of going about it, but
I mean, for instance, when I commissioned my DOJ suit from Will at Unmasked Studios, I was quoted a certain time frame, but then a natural disaster hit,
right.
a hurricane in his area, so and his shop was torn up. I'm sure you've all seen the progress pics that he's posted on his Instagram and stuff. So there are some makers that will update you and let you know, hey, you have to wait a little longer because of this. I mean, there are some that don't, because that's just not how they work. They will let you. Some makers just send you some progress pics here and there, but don't harass them about it, because that's a good way to piss off some makers, and that gets around in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, just from personal experience.
Well, and
and things I've noticed on the forums.
And our friends at Alter Ego, they probably won't be totally happy with me sharing this, but and I've seen screenshots of this before too, where like someone would order gauntlets, and like an hour later, someone's like, "Hey, have you started on my gauntlets yet?" Like, no, dude. Like, you can see in the listing, like it's a 2-month waiting list or whatever, or whatever it was, and they just assume that as soon as you pay. And look, I get it. I understand the hype. Once you send someone your money, and this is a lot of money. I'm not oblivious to the fact, like, I'm a working man too. Like, I get the $850, $1,000 for a suit. That's a lot of money. And I get that you don't want to, send someone your money that they quote you 8 weeks and you don't hear from them for 8 weeks. And I do try to communicate with people, but like, what am I going to tell you? Hey dude, I ordered your fabric today. Hey dude, Mike, finished your butt muscles today. I mean, what am I going to tell them? If you want that, fine. But, and that's why I wanted to be just transparent about it. Like, and I tell people, like, hey, look, I've got 3 people ahead of you in the roster. I'm looking to have your suit done in the next blah, blah, blah weeks. That's really the best way to go about it. In my opinion, just being transparent with people. And then if something happens, like, for instance, a hurricane, which I don't think we have to worry about here, but
we're in Arkansas right now.
We're in Arkansas right now.
Yep.
Thanks for just totally disclosing my location. Now people are going to kill me.
They don't know what part of Arkansas.
That's true. We're in this part.
We're in the state.
We're in the
Arkansas.
state. It's a small state. They'll find me. Never mind. Never mind. I'll just leave that alone. But yeah, it's I don't have to worry about that. But if things happen, things come up. If because like in my specific case, I'm working with Michael Enoch. If he has an issue, like maybe he's got a con. I know he's got a con coming up. He just had one, which you should definitely go look at his pictures. He looked great, and he did like an Adam West bat suit. He did his Dark Knight Returns that I made for him. He did a DOJ. Everything, it all looked great, and of course his lovely wife Lauren just looked amazing as well. Had some great Catwoman suits that I think turned out really, really excellent, and it was a lot of fun too because we talked to Karen Whitfield and everything. But anyway, he was at a con last week. Obviously, he wasn't able to make muscles that weekend, which is fine. But if Mike is sick or something like that, or sometimes because you're dealing with urethane-based foam, if the weather's not cooperative, because we're doing this out of our house, like this is an office in my house. I don't have a big workshop. I mean, I've got the garage out there, but I don't have a big factory where I'm making this stuff. Like, this is my little man cave area. Mike does this out of his garage. We're all doing this from our homes. We've got to kind of deal with the elements. So, but if something happens, I think being transparent and communicating, like, hey, dude, it's been we've had a hot week where I just can't get the urethane to cure properly. You mind waiting an extra week because it's supposed to level out, and I'll be able to get your cowl together for you or whatever. Just being transparent and communicating with people is absolutely the way to go.
And even then, I'm sure, because I've seen some posts, you still have people that are just not satisfied with that and don't care. They just want their stuff done. So I want to point that out too, for the simple fact that, like, it's not always rainbows and butterflies for these makers here.
No.
Like, Derek's already had some weird messages about suits and stuff that. So, I mean, like, if you're going to order a suit, just be respectful to the maker. Like, if they tell you it's a hot week, unless they have a very, very shady past and a very shady review count, I mean, I don't know why you would order from them anyway, if that's the case. But, just, weather happens, people get sick, people have families, kids, ball games, do cons of themselves, work, jobs. So, I mean, I learned that early on, because I'll admit that I was even naive to that when I first got into the Batman cosplay. I thought a lot of these guys did this for a living, and that is definitely not the case. And I'm
No.
so glad I learned that early on. I'm so happy. I'm friends with Derek. I'm able to see kind of the inside of the process a bit whenever I do visit and stuff. And I mean, it's not easy on these guys.
No.
It's the guys.
It's so
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually teared up a little bit there. Actually, that's mainly because you ripped a silent but deadly one earlier and thought I didn't notice. But
Well,
camera's,
I try. I mean,
camera's fogging up. So I think actually we're going to go ahead and start winding this to a close because we've got a lot to do.
yeah, short episode today, but I'm glad I could be here in person for it because we do have a lot to do today on some stuff. So.
We do. We're about to head to a little date night thing. It's we got me and him that we're gonna leave the girls here.
Yeah.
Me and him just gonna go on a date night. No, we got a lot of plans.
Man, a lot of work to do on this stuff too. So
Got a lot of work to do. I'm hoping because we're still waiting on the emblem for your suit. Which we're and I really do appreciate Mike for working on
thank you,
that.
Mike. Yeah, I haven't got the chance to say it, but thank you for that.
I do want to credit to Larry. And it's spelled Levi, but I think it's Levy. And I'm really sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. But Larry Levy. I really do appreciate you. It really does sound like cornbread. I don't have that much of an accent. Whatever. Now Lindsay, on the other hand, oh my God,
anyway,
she straight up sounds like cornbread.
Before that looks closing out now.
Yeah.
On that note.
Yeah. But I want to shout out Larry because what happened, I showed him, we had this idea for an emblem that I was really happy with, and I actually made the template, and I was going to make it out of foam and then send it to Mike, and he was going to sprinkle his pixie dust on it and make a urethane copy of it. Well, I wasn't happy with how the foam one came out because unlike my lovely friend Sydney, which I don't think she's watching, she does amazing EVA foam work.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Mine is not that great, so I wasn't happy with how it turned out, and I didn't want to, because when you're doing it like that, the EVA foam one has to be perfect because they can't fix that stuff. So I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't going to do that and put it on his suit or my suit. So I sent the idea. It was just a 2D image, by the way. I just sent a 2D image to Larry Levi. Or Levy. I'm just going to call him Larry because I don't want to keep messing up his name. And dude, I'm so sorry if I am.
Butchering it like left and right every time you say his name.
I know. Larry, I sent it to him, said, look, this is kind of what I'm wanting, and I wanted to change a few things. And he brought it to life and made a 3D image. That was the thickness that I wanted, the length that I wanted, which gives me an idea. I might need to, and he came up with a 3D design, and he's printing it in resin. Mike's going to be doing the urethane work, so it's going to be great when it's here.
Thank you for both of you guys for that too, because getting an emblem off a suit is not easy.
No, it's not.
So.
Especially, I got sick thinking about that. I don't know what happened. I just went down the wrong pipe. Yeah, especially the way I glue emblems down because
that's what she said.
Yeah, they don't come off whenever I glue an emblem. And I don't know. I need to confirm this with Mike. I don't think the emblem is going to be a one-off because I feel like that might be one a lot of people may want to use.
Yeah.
But you'll definitely be the first one to get it, which is kind of cool. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're not going to show the suit. We were going to do like BatChat from my garage, and I was going to be gluing the suit with him. But he's liable to not survive that process considering the fact that I'm going to be applying contact cement with just a thin layer of spandex between him and the toxic chemicals. I just don't want that to be live for legal reasons
and for the fact that people would know what happened to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want there to be proof that I'm responsible, so I'm not going to do that with the camera. But we will do it, and also, we want to do an epic reveal for you. So
yeah. I think also when we do the reveal, we'll be back. I'll come. We'll do it from here. I'll come.
David,
down here
I'll be down with that.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Thank you for being my guest, not only here in the house, but also here on BatChat.
Yeah.
Who's got the bigger bicep? Let's see. Well, hold on.
Who's gonna see here?
I don't know. Yours are more toned. There, sit like this. I don't know, man. Let me see. Let's do the eclipse. I don't know.
We both work out.
I
so
definitely got the
kinda-
meteor forearms.
Yeah, I got Michael's covering up mine. But
Yeah.
so.
I got the meteor. I got more broad shoulders though. I like envelop you.
Oh well, I got a smaller. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next week on all new episode of BatChat. Same bat time, same bat channel, all that stuff. We got to get out of here. It's getting hot in here.
It is.
It is hot. We got to get out of here. See you.